Welcome to the Warrior's Promise, where we unlock the path to reclaiming your personal power. I'm your host, Victoria Islas, a master trainer, functional health coach, energy healer, and metaphysical practitioner, guiding you through a journey of strength from the inside out. We're going to explore how movement, nutrition, and mindset can help you take back control of your life. This isn't just about fitness or food. This is about healing on all levels, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's about tapping into your warrior spirit and using that power to face life's challenges with resilience, grace, and confidence. So take a deep breath, stand tall, and let's step into the strength that's already within you. What is up, warriors? Coach Victoria Islas here. Welcome back. In the last episode, I went into, how we can use the Still Mace for mental toughness. I kind of went a little bit into the grieving I've been doing and kind of how I utilized the Still Mace in the past and a little bit of history, things like that. I threw in kind of my current situation in ways, okay? But today I really want to focus on women, and obviously I'm a woman myself, and I wanted to just kind of talk about how women should totally pick up a Still Mace, and I'm beyond excited to dive into that topic. It's close to my heart, Still Mace fitness. Now, if you're hearing that and picturing like intense gym bros or a scene out of like a medieval battlefield, I think there's a lot of ways to picture the Still Mace. Hold that thought, because this episode is especially for my ladies out there who might be curious, maybe even a little intimidated by the idea of working with a Still Mace, especially if you've gone online and you see the ways that it's being used. I know it can look a little complicated, but there's different ways to use this. And in this episode, I'm really going to go into Still Mace fitness. I'm not really talking about flow. There's nothing wrong with flow. I think it's beautiful. And I think it's very beneficial, but I want to talk about Still Mace fitness utilizing this tool, for a complete beginner and utilizing it with single exercises, not, in a complex way. Okay. So, if you're feeling a little intimidated by the idea of working with a Still Mace, this episode is for you, especially if you're a woman, okay? But let me tell you, this tool is one of the most empowering, tool for you as a woman. It's totally accessible, which I definitely want to go into that, okay? You don't need to go to the gym. You can literally take this tool with you anywhere. And it's a transformative way to just build strength, confidence, and that inner warrior spirit that I talk about all the time on my website, through my YouTube videos, in my descriptions on social media, the warrior spirit, right? And yes, this is absolutely for you, whether you're a gym newbie, or maybe you haven't even worked out in ages, okay? Or maybe you're a seasoned pro. I know there's ladies out there that are super athletic, okay? Just know that this is absolutely for you. So let's start off with why Still Mace? Why women? So let's start with the basics. Why a Still Mace? And why am I so passionate about more women giving it a shot, more women picking up a mace? Well, first off, the Still Mace is an ancient training tool rooted in century-old practices from warriors in Persia and India. And I don't know about you, but there's something so empowering about connecting with that kind of history and strength, especially for women, because we've been held back from these areas for so long. You don't hear about stories about women going out there and fighting with mace tools. This is a chance for us to kind of empower ourselves and to get into that groove, something that's been taken away for a long time from us by society. Okay. So today's Still Mace fitness combines that deep rooted power with modern functional movement patterns. Okay. So when you pick up a Still Mace, this is what you're doing. Okay. You're engaging your muscles that support balance, coordination, and strength that we don't always get with more traditional tools. And this is something I mentioned in the last episode. I said, hey, if you use this tool and, you're starting to, like, in this episode, I'm going to talk about Still Mace fitness in a way where it's kind of like very basic single exercises. But once you start getting into the more, once you start getting into complexes, and if you want to go down that route with flow, then you're going to start to see more of that balance and coordination aspect to it, right? But either way, just a tool on its own, used in like a traditional manner, meaning like how you use traditional tools, it's so effective. It's great for full body conditioning, injury prevention, and even mobility. Now, this isn't a straight up mobility tool, but it really does help in ways. Plus, this isn't just about physical power. Remember, using the still mace it's very grounding, and it connects you with your body in such a unique way. It's you, your focus, and that powerful, powerful exercise movement that you're doing. Okay. Now, let's kind of break down the barriers. Okay, let's break down these barriers. Still mace, I'm going to say it right now. This is a line that I will put out there for everyone, but particularly to women in this episode. Still mace is for everyone. Now let's just get real, okay? So I know some of you might have seen, steel mace workouts online and thought, whoa, that looks intense, or that just isn't for me. Like, it's very like martial art dudes or pro athletes. And I totally get it. Like when you first see, again, I think when it comes to the still mace world, you're probably going to see that first. And I'm going to let you know that that's not the only way to use the still mace. And that's why I'm talking about still mace fitness, and I'm talking about still maces for everyone. And I get it. The still mace can look a little intimidating when you first see it that way, and especially if you've never tried it before. But the truth is, still mace fitness is for everybody. This tool isn't about size, gender, or even athletic background. You can use it. And again, if you're a woman, you can totally rock it. So you don't have to lift heavy or do crazy complex moves to benefit from it. Still mace workouts are highly customizable. You can use like a lighter mace. You can start slow. You can focus on form rather than speed or intensity. And even with the most basic movements, you're still gonna work strength, mobility, and coordination. So in other words, don't let anyone tell you that this tool isn't for you. Don't let your mind tell you that this tool isn't for you. We've been conditioned as women to think that something isn't for us. And I'm telling you right now, it's for everyone. So let's talk about the empowerment factor, unleashing your inner warrior. I want to touch on one of the biggest reasons that I think still mace fitness is especially powerful for a woman. And let's be real, the fitness industry can sometimes feel, a bit boxed in, right? Especially for women. We've been underserved for a very long time. So there's this idea that women's fitness should look a certain way, like small weights, low reps, and staying toned, right? This has been like the story for like ever for women. But the truth is, women are strong as hell. I know I'm strong as hell. And we deserve to step into that power. So with a still mace, you're not just lifting, okay? You're building a warrior mindset. You're building strength, and it is so incredibly empowering. This isn't about shrinking or shaping yourself to fit anyone else's idea of fitness, okay? It's about expanding, taking up that space, and doing something a little badass. I mean, don't you want to do something a little badass at least a few times in your life, or maybe forever? Like for me, I'm forever doing still mace. I don't care what anyone tells me. I'm going to be a 99-year-old in the future swinging still mace. You better believe that. So let's go into like debunking myths, okay? The still mace isn't just used in one way, and I'm going to completely remind people on this, okay? I hear a lot of women being curious about the still mace, and they think it's only about swinging it around or doing multiple movements at once, but this couldn't be further from the truth. The beauty of the still mace is its versatility. It's versatile. So sure, you have your iconic swings, the 360s, 10-2s, and obviously that started in India with really strong men. And so I love swinging mace, but I know that, women aren't really super accepted in those areas for things like that. Like if I went over there, they'd probably look at me like I'm crazy. And obviously I wouldn't be able to lift as much as the dudes there. I mean, those dudes are strong, but there's so much more to explore. And that's why I like still mace fitness. I like the Americanized version of it. You can use it for static holds, balance work, core stability, resistance training, your strength training, and even yoga inspired flow movements. I totally recommend. God, I had her on my podcast. Well, I had two ladies on my podcast. If you want, go check it out. I don't want to name names. Just go check out my old podcast that I mentioned in my last episode. I started Stillmace Warrior with a podcast full of guests, and there was a few ladies that were yoga inspired. Okay, so you want to go check that out. But you can also incorporate it into HIIT workouts, mobility drills, cardio. It's a complete package. It's crazy how many things you can do with this piece of freaking metal. It's just crazy to me. And, you'll never get bored because there's always a new movement to master or a different way to challenge your body. And each movement can be scaled to meet you exactly where you are, which is why, we come back to Stillmaces for everybody. I don't care if you haven't been in the gym in like 10 years or if you're someone who's been in the gym every day or training for performance. Okay. This can be used in any way you want, and it can be scaled to meet you exactly where you are. Okay. So how do we get started? Again, remember, I don't want to make these podcast episodes too long, but getting started, tips, encouragement, things like that. So, if you're feeling a little inspired, let me give you a few pointers on getting started with the Stillmace Fitness. Okay. So first, find a lighter mace to begin with, somewhere around, I think on it's still making the 7 pounds, but I always say 10 pounds is perfect for beginners. So trust me, it sounds light, but the asymmetrical weight distribution means your muscles will feel the work, and you really got to get used to this tool. I'm telling you, it's really different. So if you've never used it before, just trust me, use a 10 pound. Next, you start with the basics, like, just basic squats, lunges, lateral lunges, just do all the basics and then focus on form, and don't worry about mastering everything overnight. Okay. This isn't about being perfect. It's about exploring what feels powerful for you as a woman. And if you're able to find a coach or an online community, they're there to support you and help you feel confident as you progress. Okay. You can hit me up. I know I have a lot of coaching services coming up. I'm getting really excited about, releasing these services. I'm still getting everything set up. So if you are looking for a coach, I will have services available. And if you're looking for an online community, please join my Facebook group. I do have a Facebook group. It's not like super active because I've been MIA, that's something that I've been, I've struggled with these last few years. I lost my dad. And I got this momentum from the podcast. And then my mom got sick. I became her full-time caregiver. I literally had to leave my job, leave my career, put everything aside for my mom, to take care of my mom, because I always promised her that I would take care of her. And that's what I did. And I don't regret that at all. I feel so grateful that I had, those last years with her. And I get really emotional, but so I haven't been super active in the Facebook group, and I apologize if you are in there. I'm trying my best to get back to it as quickly as possible, but with all the grieving and all the mental health and all the getting back to, it's been a struggle, but I'm getting there. And I think this podcast is a way to get me back to it. So join that Facebook group. It's just called Stillmace Warrior. Look it up, and I'm sure you'll find other like-minded people, and I'll do my best to get back in there as soon as possible. And so there's that. Okay. So ladies, this is my call to you. All right. My call to you. Don't shy away from trying the Stillmace because it looks intimidating or it feels like it's meant for someone else. This is about claiming your power, your confidence, and building that inner strength to match your outer strength. So I'm big on calling your power back. So call your power back, pick up a mace. Okay. Pick it up, because the Stillmace has a way of bringing out the warrior in you. And I promise you, this is the warrior's promise. It's one of the most rewarding fitness journeys you can take. Anyways, thank you for tuning in today. If you enjoy this episode, hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and let me know if you decide to give Stillmace Fitness a try. I love to hear about your experience and see you unleash that inner warrior. Okay. And by the way, if you go on my podcast page, you can now leave notes on there. You can send me some text messages and I will respond. There's also a way to support me if you want to support. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, please leave your comments below. I'd love to hear from you again. Let me know if you're going to try this as a lady. Until next time, keep moving, keep growing, and keep showing up for yourself. All right, guys. All right. I'm out. Until next time.